Hello, students, and welcome to episode 77 of our online English lessons. And today we will continue discussing a topic in American history. Last week we talked about quilts and especially the important role women played in quilting and building communities in America. This week we will also go back in time to the 19th century and talk about how America migrated to the West. So we're going to discuss a very important law that the American government made in the 19th century called the Homestead Act. And this was a really, really important law that we'll talk about and how it affected and impacted America in the settling of the Wild West. I hope you guys like it. I thought it's a really interesting topic, and I'm sure you guys will think so too. So let's get started. The Homestead Act, America's migration to the West. The year is 1862, and the United States is in the middle of the Civil War. The country's future is uncertain, and much of its territory is unsettled land. The states that were connected to the Atlantic Ocean were all settled, but everything west of that was considered the Wild West. While the northern states were fighting the southern states for the freedom of the slaves, the United States government was also thinking of ways to get the western territory of this new country settled. It was going to be dangerous for anyone deciding to move out there. So the government came up with an idea, and that idea became something called the Homestead Act. The Homestead Act was a law designed to encourage people to move west in order to help the country grow stronger, produce more food, and establish stable communities. This law offered ordinary people a very rare opportunity, and it changed the lives of millions of families. From this law, any citizen or soon to be citizen was given 160 acres of land. That is 800 meters by 800 meters of land from the government for free. The land was free, but the citizen had to live on the land for 5 years, build a home, and improve the property by farming or other work. If the person failed any of these conditions, then the land went back to the government. This promise of free land attracted farmers, immigrants, former soldiers, and families hoping for a better future. The government had strong reasons for wanting people to move west. One main reason was economic growth. Settled land meant there would be more crops, livestock, and trade. Another big reason was national security. Leaders in America believed that if the land had people on it, it would be easier to protect from invasion by foreign countries or Native American tribes. Family life on the frontier was very difficult, but that meant that the communities and neighbors had to work together to survive, which led to a culture that was deeply cooperative. Most families lived in very simple homes made of wood, and space was limited, so there was very little privacy. Every family member had responsibilities, including the children. Boys and girls helped with the farm work, gathered water or firewood, and cared for animals. Meals were simple, and food had to be prepared carefully so that it would last through the long winters. Women played a crucial role in homestead life, often balancing many responsibilities at once. In addition to cooking and cleaning, women made clothing, preserved food, and cared for children. Many also worked in the fields during planting and harvest season. The Homestead Act also allowed single women, including widows, to claim land in their own name. This was a rare opportunity for women during that time, where most women did not have a lot of independence. However, the physical and emotional demands were great. Isolation was a common struggle, especially for women living far from neighbors or towns. Personal letters and diaries from homesteaders show a clear picture of daily life. One woman living on the frontier wrote in her diary about her first winter, describing how snow blocked the door of her small home and how the wind never seemed to stop. She recorded feeling frightened and lonely, but also proud when her family survived the season. Another letter from a homesteader described the joy of finally seeing crops grow after months of drought and failure. These personal records show that homestead life included both deep hardship and small moments of happiness. Life under the Homestead Act was filled with uncertainty. Crops could fail due to drought, insects, or sudden storms. Medical care was often far away, and families relied on neighbors for help during illness or childbirth. Money was scarce, and many families lived simply for years. Some homesteaders eventually gave up and returned to the east. Others stayed, forming communities through churches, schools, and shared labor. These connections helped people survive emotionally as well as physically. The Homestead Act remained in effect for more than 100 years and resulted in millions of acres of land being settled. While the law did not benefit everyone equally and came with serious challenges, it played a major role in shaping the country. More importantly, it tells the story of ordinary families who took great risks to build new lives. Their experiences remind us that history is not only shaped by government, but also by the everyday strength and determination of people working together. All right, thank you for listening, guys. Let's look at our vocabulary for today. I chose 5 vocab words. Some of them are easy, but some of them might be difficult. So let's practice them together. The first word is settled. Settled. To settle somewhere means to live in a place and make it a permanent home. Number 2, isolation. Isolation. Isolation means being alone or far away from other people. Number 3, claim. Claim. When you claim something, it's to officially say that something belongs to you. I claim this land. It officially belongs to me. Number 4, frontier. Frontier. The frontier is a place far from cities where people lived and where life was very difficult. And number 5 is shaping. Shaping. Shaping something means to have a great influence on something and it changes it. Okay, those are our vocabularies for this essay. And now let's move on to our discussion questions. I have 5 discussion questions. Please discuss them. Please write your answers and you can send them to me or we can talk about it the next time we meet. So I'm looking forward to your answers. Number 1, have you or someone in your family ever moved to a new place to start a new life? What was difficult about that move? So that's number 1. It's a long one. Have you or someone in your family ever moved to a new place to start a new life? And what was difficult about that? What was one difficult point? Um, Number two, in your country, was land ever given by the government? Was land ever given to people like the Homestead Act in America? And then how, if yes or no, how did people get land or homes in your country's history? Number three, what do you think would be the hardest part of living in the frontier during that time? Imagine it's 1862 in America, in the Wild West, the frontier. What do you think would be the hardest part for you living in that frontier place at that time? Number four, have you ever experienced living on your own or moving far away from your other family members? What was that like? And number five, do you think people in the past were stronger or more patient than people today? What do you think about that? Okay, those are my discussion questions. I'm looking forward to your answers, and I would like to answer one of those for you guys. So I'm thinking between number one and number four. I think I will answer question number four. Number four says, have you ever experienced living on your own or moving far away from your family members? What was it like? So, as you know, I live in Japan and my whole family lives in California and recently Washington. Now I've made a family in Japan. I have a wife and a child, and that's my new family. But for about maybe 8 years or so, I lived on my own. And I want to share what that was like. So while I was living on my own, there were many great parts. I had freedom to make my own choices. I can try new things. I could make my own schedule. I felt very free. But at the same time, like maybe some people felt on the frontier, there was a lot of isolation, feelings of loneliness, or being a little bit sad and missing home or missing my family members. So that happened often in those 8 years. And I usually reached out to friends or family back home. Luckily, with technology, I could contact them pretty easily using some online communication or things like that. I do remember once my mother sent me a box with some of my favorite candy and some things from back home that I missed, and that feeling was so nice. I just remember opening it up and getting like new socks and root beer candy and some chocolate, American chocolate, and just feeling super happy that whole week enjoying those things. So that's my answer for number four. It was very freeing. I felt independent, but I also went through periods of isolation and loneliness, and I needed to reach out to my family for support. All right, guys, I'm looking forward to your answers. Thanks again for watching. This was episode 77. All right. And I'll see you guys next time for 78. Goodbye, everyone.